Former President Barack Obama is having lawsuits drafted against him in the event that presidential immunity is removed. Universities are becoming anti-Semitic cesspools controlled by students and outside groups. Representative Jamaal Bowman of New York wants Biden to bring all remaining Palestinians from Gaza to live in the United States. Taxpayers should pay for their new lives as reparations for supporting Israel. There's only one problem. They hate America, and I believe Americans would hate the idea of their tax money going towards people that hate them. But what do I know? Thank you guys so much for liking and sharing these videos. It really helps me out. So thank you so much. Unrest on college campuses throughout the U.S. is quickly becoming a major issue. For those who haven't been following, these giant protests are centered around Israel's current controversy in Gaza. Now, earlier today, students at Columbia University went from sitting on a lawn to seizing an administrative building. Videos which surfaced online showcased a mass exodus of students chanting while bringing barricades inside the building. Once inside, glass was smashed with hammers, entrances were blocked off, doors were chained, windows were shut, and they're saying, "We now own the school." Now, Columbia University issued a warning to students that they will be suspended if they continue to protest on their campus. However, this warning was not heeded or even taken serious, and a hostile takeover has begun. Now, Campus Public Affairs VP Ben Chang claimed that students were being suspended as part of their effort to ensure safety on campus, but students don't seem to care. In fact, some of them have said suspension for Gaza is the highest honor. Now, to them, this is a virtuous act, a way to stand up to evil. I can understand the emotion behind some of these horror stories that happen in war, but in reality, Hamas is the one prolonging any chance of peace, and Hamas continues to use their people as body shields in order to get points with public relations. So Hamas is winning when it comes to the public relations side, but you have to remember there's still dozens and dozens of hostages that they refuse to release. Now, over at Harvard, students removed all the American flags and replaced them with Palestinian flags. Also, the staff at Harvard and Columbia have created a human chain where they link arms together in order to create a barrier so that the police cannot get to their students. Muslim groups are now praying on campus up to 5 times a day and calling for Sharia law to be enforced. And they're telling people, ignore the police. Now, in Texas, this story is much different. Students are still protesting, but police are in riot gear and dragging them away. But even with these efforts, the sheer number of students has outweighed the police force allocated to dealing with them. On top of that, when students are dragged away, they go limp, making it difficult to remove them, which means they need even more police. But even worse than that, then the courts are saying, we've got nothing to hold them on. Go ahead and release them, even if they were caught beating up on a police officer. Now, as protests continue, the International Criminal Court is reportedly considering an arrest warrant of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and his allies in Israel. According to Axios News, Netanyahu has asked President Biden to help prevent the warrant during a recent phone call. Following the call, the White House stated that it does not support the International Crimes Court's investigation, as they believe the court lacks jurisdiction. If charged, however, Netanyahu stated it would set a dangerous precedence, threatening the soldiers and officials of any democracy fighting criminal terrorism and aggression. So this is really getting out of hand, and I've been pretty upfront with you guys that I believe Israel has the right to defend itself, but I've also not liked the way that they're going about it. I don't like seeing all the innocent people killed, and this is likely why so many students are lashing out. Now, Democrat Representative Jamaal Bowman has seemed to join protesters by calling for immigrants from Gaza to be let into America. He stated, "We are a land of immigrants and we are a land of asylum seekers. Anyone escaping persecution and oppression and violence, the United States has always been an open home to these people." However, Bowman failed to address the potential negative of doing so. Many Palestinians view the United States as their mortal enemy because of their relationship with Israel. So letting them in could actually be a disaster. Having millions of people that hate you, hate your ideology, hate your religion, hate everything about you, including capitalism, and now they're your new neighbor. Now, additionally, there would be almost no way to verify if these people are innocent or if they are supporters of Hamas. It's unfortunate that a YouTuber like myself has to point this out, but it does have to be pointed out. Also, Bowman, who's going to pay for this? The American taxpayer? I would just love for all of my hard-earned tax money to go to people that absolutely hate my guts. That would just make me feel really, really great. Now, let me know in the comments, please. Do you want to see all of the people from Gaza relocated to the United States and all of their living expenses paid for by your tax money? I would love to hear from you in the comments. Also, Jamaal Bowman says that he stands for women. He believes in women. He wants abortions for women. You think these radical Islamists give a crap about women? They subjugate them. They see them as property or chattel. Women serve only one function, and that is to make more babies for Allah. So there goes the 200 years that women have struggled to gain their rights in one of the freest nations on the planet. Also, there goes your precious abortion rights. Now, I think it kind of makes sense that Colombia would have this outcome, as 55% of their student body is foreigners that were allowed into the United States, and then this is now how they treat the United States. So we've essentially brought them in, given them a great life, and what do? They tell us how awful America is. Now, new details out today show Bill Gates is trying to get approval for food companies to grow food with mRNA technology in them, or in the case of fruits and vegetables, at least the produce would have a coating of mRNA. Just yesterday, I told you how AstraZeneca admitted in court that their miracle shot is actually killing people because of blood clotting. It's like they want us to be sick. I don't know why they continue to call it health care. They should be honest and start calling it sick care. Now, elites want women to become men and men to become women, humans to be sick so that they can milk their sickness for money the rest of their life, and they want kids to be confused about gender. Now, one reason they are trying to feminize men is weak men are easier to control. They do this through food and plastics and estrogen hormones in the water supply and in our food. This is to lower men's testosterone. They also do it by labeling all men as sexist, misogynistic, and dealing with toxic masculinity. Did you know that testosterone rates are lower by almost 50% today than they were in men in 1960? And men over the age of 50 have 17% less testosterone than men their same age 30 years ago, which shows not only did it shrink, but it continues to shrink. My own T levels were low, so I started taking testosterone. However, Black Forest, who I buy from, has a new product out that combines testosterone with Tungak Ali. Now, scientific studies show that these supplements can increase testosterone. This helps with muscle growth, retention, stress reduction, and even increases your libido. Now, testosterone is a vital hormone to stay healthy and strong, yet forces today want men depleted of testosterone. So if you want to get your health back and your strength back and maybe raise your libido, try testosterone with Tungak Ali by visiting blackforestsupplements.com/Steve. Now, for the next 48 hours, members of my community, if you buy 2 bottles, you'll get one free. I'm going to leave that link down below. Testosterone is vital to having a healthy body. Now, speaking of this topic, recently I told you how Joe Biden and the White House fundamentally altered the Title IX language, which has been in force since its inception in order to protect women and women's sports. Now they've changed the language so that any male that believes he's a female can register and play women's sports. Well, Texas just announced that they will not be honoring this wording change. They are putting forward a new bill to keep women's sports just for biological women. Any man who says he is a woman still produces way more testosterone than a female, which allows him to dominate females in sports. Even tennis pro Serena Williams said in a recent interview that there is a marked difference between male and female tennis players. Of course, they tried to cancel her afterwards for speaking the truth. But let me know in the comments, is Texas making the right move? Should girls' sports be protected just for girls? Or should boys be allowed to compete against girls, win the medals, break all the records, maybe break some jaws? I don't know. Let me know in the comments. I would love to hear from you. All right, now President Biden's son, Hunter Biden, is now threatening to sue Fox News if they don't remove hacked intimate photos of him that were published. In response, Fox News stated Hunter Biden's lawyers have belatedly chosen to publicly attack Fox News' constitutionally protected coverage regarding their client. Mr. Biden is a public figure who has been the subject of investigations by both the Democrats, the Department of Justice, and Congress, and has been indicted by 2 different U.S. attorneys' offices in California, also in Delaware, and has admitted to incidences of wrongdoing. Consistent with the First Amendment, Fox News has accurately covered these highly publicized events, as well as the subsequent indictment of an FBI informant who was the source of certain claims made by Mr. Biden. So he's basically trying to do maybe like a Dominion voting thing where, oh, let's go after the big one, Fox News. But Hunter isn't the only one attacking the media when coverage doesn't go their way. During an interview with MSNBC, Representative Nancy Pelosi labeled host Katie Tur as a Trump apologist for simply pointing out the truth. During their interview, Pelosi stated, Donald Trump has the worst record of job loss of a president. So we just have to make sure people know. But Tur clarified by saying, yes, but Donald Trump was president during a global pandemic. Nancy Pelosi didn't like this truth being told on the air. It completely defeated her talking points against Trump. And so she resorted to ad hominem attacks on this woman. Someone lacks emotional maturity when they resort to attacking a person's character rather than their facts. Now, crazy Nancy couldn't hear the truth about Donald Trump because she has Trump derangement syndrome. He had an incredible job record. Yes, many lost their jobs during the global pandemic, but as people took their jobs back, Joe Biden took credit for those as if they were new jobs. Plus, most of the new jobs Biden brags about creating are mostly part-time jobs, either for people that already have a part-time job or for illegal immigrants taking those jobs. So Pelosi can take her fake facts and shove it. But she literally lost her mind. Oh, maybe you're a Trump apologist. Well, I don't know. Maybe you're a criminal that has made over $100 million doing insider trading. I don't know. All right, now, it's very clear to me that Democrats are starting to get very defensive as Trump begins to dominate Joe Biden in the polls. Furthermore, third-party candidate RFK Jr. just qualified for the ballot in California, which is horrible news for Biden. If he takes just that one state where he is liked, where he lives, and where he is popular, that would immediately kill Joe Biden's presidency, but not hurt Donald Trump. Now, during a recent podcast with George Janko, RFK Jr. claimed that the Biden campaign has been doing everything they can to keep him from qualifying. Lawsuits, blocking him from Secret Service protection, on and on. Despite that, he is on track to have his name on the ballot in all 50 states. Former President Donald Trump met with Florida's Governor Ron DeSantis over the weekend in an apparent attempt to squash the bad news and tension between the two. Trump, who bashed DeSantis relentlessly by running against him, appears to be satisfied with how the meeting went. Trump stated, "I'm very happy to have the full and enthusiastic support of Governor Ron DeSantis of Florida. The conversation mostly concerned how we would work closely together to make America great again. Also discussed was the future of Florida. It is fantastic." Now, I don't know that this is going to be a president-vice president relationship, but I think having Governor Ron DeSantis on his side, his backers, the ability to raise money, do fundraising, campaigning while Trump is sitting in court is actually going to be really, really powerful. As Biden's economy continues to tumble under the pressure of his green agenda, Ford has announced that it's lost $1.3 billion on electric vehicles in the first quarter of 2024. Due to lack of demand, the automaker was forced to cut prices heavily in order to move inventory. As of now, Ford has claimed that it will focus on making hybrid vehicles until demand for full electric vehicles ramps up. I think that's a great idea, right? Like, I still want some gas. I'd also like to get better gas mileage, right? All right, now you guys might find this interesting. I know I did. A group named Judicial Watch announced that they are already preemptively drafting lawsuits against Barack Obama and Joe Biden in the event that the Supreme Court removes presidential immunity. In the case of Obama, they want him tried for lying to the American people, spying on the Trump campaign, withholding national security issues from Trump in order to foul up his foreign policy his first year in office, and spreading Russian disinformation. The group is also planning to sue Barack Obama for ordering a drone strike that killed an American family. On Joe Biden, they will go after him for war crimes during the Afghanistan withdrawal, ordering a missile strike on a family in Afghanistan, using his office to enrich his family, and selling oil to China during an American emergency. Now, Tom Fitton of Judicial Watch said, "If they go after Trump, we will immediately go after them. Lift immunity and see what happens to the office of president." All right, now speaking of presidents, this is pretty cool. The president of El Salvador, Nayib Bukele, made waves several years ago when he moved the country off of a debt fiat currency over to Bitcoin. He then rounded up 50,000 gang members and got them off the street and sent to prison. The country is now thriving and crime is super low. Well, yesterday he invited his entire cabinet to come in, where he announced that they are all under investigation for committing fraud against the government and the people of El Salvador. Each member of the government will be individually investigated to see if they are stealing from the people, making backroom deals that enrich their families and their donors. President Bukele wants to replace the entire government with only El Salvador's loving citizens that are honest and want to make El Salvador great again. Isn't that amazing? I wish the American government would do that. Hey, we're now investigating everybody. You're all going to be fired if there's an issue, and we will replace you with America-loving people, or we'll get rid of the position and we'll save the taxpayers $1 trillion. Wouldn't that be awesome? Now, I know that Vivek Ramaswamy will do that. Will Trump do that? I don't know. Depends on his mood, his focus, his vice president. But I have a feeling that there's going to be a major cut in employment with the federal government. I mean, it's only over 2 million. It's the largest employer on the entire planet. It also happens to be very corrupt, and it happens to be stealing trillions of dollars from its citizens. All right, now that's my update for today. As I know more, I will come on and share more with you. There is one thing that I know, and it's that you are amazing. Thank you guys for stopping by. Please give this video a like, hit that subscribe button, and share this with family and friends. I appreciate you guys stopping by, and I will see you